or should I say good morning. I'm naturopath Dr. Ivy Brannon, and today I'm going to talk about the importance of breakfast, and I'm also going to show you one of my favorite easy breakfasts that you can actually just bring when you go to the office. Many people either tend to, go get the bagel, or maybe you're somebody who just drinks a venti latte and that's your breakfast. But the importance of breakfast is that it really sets the tone for the day. One, it helps to set the tone for how our blood sugars are going to behave. And then also it really helps to kickstart the metabolism. So it's basically waking up the metabolism in the morning. And in general, I recommend people for a nice healthy breakfast, you definitely want to have some good protein, because protein is going to also definitely help with balancing blood sugars. If you are going to choose a carbohydrate, you definitely want to choose something that is high in fiber, because that also is helpful with blood sugar regulation. Also some nice fats, and then also optionals of fruits or vegetables. So those are sort of like the basics that I kind of consider for a nice healthy breakfast. So for today, we're going to start out. So this is one of my favorite breakfasts that I make, especially if I'm here stuck in the office before my patients. I like to it's an avocado spread and some whatever type of toast you're working with. So today we're actually going to be working with gluten-free bread. I also recommend for some of my patients to either use rice cakes if they're avoiding gluten, or if they're not avoiding gluten, then something like sprouted Ezekiel bread is also a really good idea, because one is higher protein, higher in fiber than most conventional types of bread. And so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually pop this in the toaster, basically because, again, we want to be quite quick. Don't want to be here all day, so I'm going to just turn that on. So while we're toasting up there, I'm going to then start the spread. So we're going to take an avocado. Typically, so depending on the size, this is a kind of a medium large avocado. I'm just going to use a third of it. But if you have like one of those really tiny avocados, you might want to use a half. And then if it's like a really big avocado, you might just want to use a quarter. Avocado is one of those foods. It's definitely very nutritious. It's a great source of monounsaturated fats as well as vitamin E, but you really don't need to use too much because it is quite high in calories. So usually for most people, I would recommend no more than a half of a avocado per day, if not less. So I'm just first going to cut off a little bit more, because it was not exactly the third that I was looking for. Okay, so we're going to start out with that. And then in this bowl, I have nutritional yeast. Why nutritional yeast? So nutritional yeast is actually very, very high in protein. It's one of the only vegan complete sources of protein. It also has a lot of B vitamins, specifically B12, which is also very important, especially for stress and energy. And then it also has chromium, which is great for blood sugar regulation. So that's really perfect. So I have about a quarter of a cup of the nutritional yeast in here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to scoop out the ooh, whoopsie. Okay. Don't want to add that part. So basically we're going to scoop up, and you also want to make sure that your avocado is very ripe. How you can tell if it's ripe, if it's soft. Anything hard is not going to work. And so we're just going to scoop that out. And then I'm going to add some Bragg's amino acids. And basically it's just going to give a little salt. It's also going to give a little bit of that umami feeling. So you can either use Bragg's, you could also, if you like tamari, you could use some tamari. And then if you're avoiding soy, you could just add some sea salt, or if you're avoiding salt altogether, no salt. I like the pump one just because it gives me just like a kind of control over how much I add. So I'm just going to add a couple sprays. Sometimes I do a little bit too much, and so, or if I want more, I can always add some more. So just going to mash up the avocado, basically just incorporating the nutritional yeast. I can kind of just show you that a little bit as I'm mashing up. Fortunately, this avocado is a little bit more brown than I would like, but it should probably taste fine. And overall, you'll find when you make this, you're not going to have like a nice, pretty green guacamole color. It's going to be a little bit kind of like almost like a pea green, or sometimes a brown, depending on, again, the ripeness of the avocado, or how much of the Bragg's you ended up adding, or tamari. Just kind of mixing it up there. Also, this is a nice spread. I mean, if you are avoiding carbohydrates all together, it can make a nice snack. You could actually fill celery stalks, or you could do sort of kind of make basically like cucumber kind of bowls. You could fill it up. Yeah, so you can just kind of do that. And hopefully, I think our toast is going to be done soon. And we can just spread that on. Okay, so I'm just going to stop the toast. One of the things, especially if you're doing gluten-free breads, they usually tend to toast up a little bit faster than some of the other types of breads. Okay, so we got that nice and toasted. And then I'm just going to take my knife here. And the nice thing about this breakfast is you could actually just make it up. You could maybe even make it up the night before, either with the spread or even assemble it all together, and then just basically, put it in a little container and bring it to work. Okay, so we're going to spread that on. Wow, I made a lot. It's a pretty big avocado, but that's fine. More the merrier. Okay. So you can kind of see it's sort of like a darker brown, darker green brown. And of course, my favorite part of making this is actually eating it. So let me see. Well, I'm ready to start my day. Hopefully you are too. Well, thank you again. Again, this is Dr. Ivy Brandon of Simplicity Health Associates, where simple solutions to health come naturally.